Hi there. This is the second video I'm making in a series of videos for LinkedIn which describe how venture capital firms make decisions when it comes to investing into their companies. Today I'm going to touch on portfolio and portfolio building. It's a key aspect of the decision-making process of most venture capital firms. Most venture capital firms will invest in more than one investment, obviously. In fact, actually, a lot of venture capital firms will invest in dozens, if not up to 50 firms, in the hopes that they will get a decent return across the whole portfolio. The importance of this relates to the size of the fund and the amount of money that they raise, their assets under management. That in turn drives what kind of check size they would have, and therefore what stage of development they'll invest in, and ultimately will drive the total number of firms that they have within their portfolio. I think that's very important that potential investee companies ask companies about how they build portfolios and how they work with their companies across all of the portfolio. There are a couple of other aspects of it that I think most people don't ask about that they should ask about. One is whether folks do a double down, whether they do follow-on investments with their portfolio companies. I think that's very important because it then will guide whether the firm has a reserve or not. What I mean by that is that when firms invest initially in a company, are they looking to write a second check at a later stage to support the firm in its future development? And as a result of that, do they then have money in the portfolio which they put in reserve for such investments? I think that's critical because often people will look at a firm and say, for example, this is a $200 million fund, and they expect that all $200 million will be available for investment. That's often not the case because of the stage of development, whether they've called the funds down or whether they have reserves for doubling down on existing portfolio companies. I think there is a little bit of a dirty little secret in the industry, which is worth talking about. And that's that when companies build a portfolio, what they're actually looking for is a small number of outperformers, a small number of star performers, ones where they can expect outsized performance, outsized returns on their investment. That could be up to 10x or even more. They will expect that at least a significant minority of the portfolio will do well, and they'll see what one might call normal returns, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 times their money back. If they can achieve that kind of mix, a couple of star performers and a significant minority of their investments that do well, then to be frank with you, they don't really care if half or more of their portfolio ends up failing, if the businesses end up not working and going out of business, provided that they have a couple of star performers and a minority of investors that have done well for them. Then they can give good returns back to their own investors. So portfolio construction is often ignored by companies that are looking for investment from venture capital firms, but I think it's very important that you ask them a series of questions around how do they construct their portfolio. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd recommend that you look at the previous video which concerns strategy and its importance, the strategy of venture capital firms and its importance in their decision-making process. Once again, always available if folks want to engage. Please don't hesitate to send me a message on LinkedIn directly. Thanks again for your time today. I'll have another video next week on another aspect of it. Thanks very much again.